Welcome everyone to the session of Transportation Engineering 2. In this session, we'll be seeing the revision of Unit 4. From Unit 4, the topic Airport Engineering starts. The first three units, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3 were Railway Engineering. From Unit 4, we'll be having Introduction to Airport Engineering. So in this session we'll be looking at the important questions of Unit 4 and we'll be doing revision. The important question we'll be trying to get solutions for those important questions which are according to me those are important. These all are from our notes which I have forwarded to you. So we'll look into this thing, Unit 4 and Unit 5. Unit 4 is completely theory. There will be one problem from Unit 5, numerical problem from Unit 5 we will be discussing while we get into the revision of Unit 5. Okay, this Unit 4 is completely a theory. It revolves around the basic terminology, basic introductions to airport engineering and all. So let us start the things. So the important questions from Unit 4 are as follows. These are the important questions from Unit 4. The first question, it says, what are different components of an aeroplane? First question is about different components of an aeroplane. The second question is about draw a neat diagram of airport layout and explain important components of an airport layout. This is normally a 10 marks question or very important 10 marks or 5 mark questions. Draw a neat diagram of airport layout and explain important components of an airport. Then next, write in detail about aircraft characteristics. This is also an important question. Write in detail about aircraft characteristics. Then draw a neat diagram of turning radius of aircraft and explain. This is the another important question. Draw a neat diagram of turning radius of aircraft and explain. Then next, explain with a neat sketch how the wings of an aircraft help it to rise in above the ground. Explain with the neat sketch how the wing of an aircraft help to rise in air above the ground. This question is related to wings. The next question, explain in detail the influence of aircraft design on runway length. Influence of aircraft design on runway length. Then write about tricycle undercarriage. The next question is write about tricycle undercarriage. And the next following questions are, what are the functions of the following? Elevator, rudder and aileron. We need to give the functions of these three components basically. What are the functions of elevator, rudder and aileron? Then discuss in brief the future requirements and trends in aircraft design. What will be the future requirements and trends in aircraft design? That we need to discuss it over here. The next, classifying the flying activities according to the purpose to travel. Classify the flying activities according to purpose to travel. These are nothing but important questions from Unit 4. Now let us see one by one the answers to these important questions. Okay, when we talk about this, different components, parts of an aeroplane, we need to draw a diagram for this. Different components, parts of an aeroplane. If we draw a diagram it will be good, or without drawing the diagram also you can also describe. So what are different components of an aeroplane? The answer to this question is the following. Aeroplane components parts. This is the diagram of the aeroplane. In this diagram also the parts are explained. See, this is the propeller, leading edge, trailing edge, fuselage, wings, aileron, flap, elevator, rudder, vertical flip. Basically these are nothing but component parts of an aeroplane. The essential among this, the essentials are the following. The essential parts are given as below: engine, propeller, fuselage, wings, three controls, flaps, tricycle under carriage. These are nothing but aeroplane component parts. What are different component parts of an aeroplane? These are the different component parts of an aeroplane. For 5 marks, compulsory diagram has to be drawn. If it's for 2 or 3 marks, this diagram can be avoided, but for the sake of 5 marks, complete diagram has to be drawn. Engine, propeller, fuselage, wings, three controls, flap, tricycle under carriage. Again, if the question gets elaborated, again we need to give this descriptions under detail. We need to describe. If suppose again, if it's for 5 marks, we need to describe much of the things in details. For example, engine. There are various types of engine: piston engine, turbojet engine, turbofan or turboprop or rocket. Then if we talk about propeller, this provide an conventional piston engine aircrafts as well as turboprop engines. When engines and propellers are in front, the machine is described as a tractor types. Sometimes, but not very often, the engine and air screw are behind the wing, then it is known as pusher installation. Fuselage is nothing but it forms the main body of an aircraft and provides the power plant, fuel, cockpit, passengers, cargo, etc. Wings. The purpose of an aircraft wing is to support the machine in the air when the engine has given it necessary forward speed. When we talk about this three controls you get elevator, rudder and aileron. Tricycle undercarriage. It is a structure to support the aircraft while it is in contact with the ground. It has two principal functions to perform listed below: to observe the landing shocks and aircraft lands, to enable the aircraft maneuver on ground. These are nothing but important functions of the following essential components. If it's for 5 or 10 marks, you need to describe this much in detail. Okay, our next question: draw a neat diagram of an airport layout and explain important components of an airport. This is a very much important question. This can be asked for 5 or 10 marks. This sure can be asked for 5 or 10 marks. No second thought about that. In this session, draw a neat diagram of airport layout. The diagram of airport layout, which you can see in the image, is somewhat complicated, but you need to draw this diagram. Without drawing that layout of an airport, you cannot describe that answer. It is impossible to describe the answer. So what we need to do is we need to draw the layout of an airport first. We need to take our answer paper, turn it into a landscape mode and draw the layout of the layout of an airport, and then we need to draw this. We will be seeing what will be the answer for this. Draw any diagram of airport layout and explain the important components of an So the question is as follows: draw me diagram of airport layout and explain the important components of an airport. Airport layout. When we talk about airport layout, an airport is a location where aircraft such as fixed wing aircraft, helicopters, and blimps take off and land. Aircraft may be stored or maintained at an aircraft. An airport consists of at least one surface, such as runway, for a plane to take off and land, a helipad, or water for takeoff and landings, and often includes buildings such as control towers, hangars, and terminal building. This is nothing but a description of an airport layout. What is airport and what does airport layout consist of, and which I have seen. Now let us see the layout of an airport. This diagram is very much important when we are going for an answer. You can see a complicated diagram, but the outline, at least you need to draw the outline of this diagram in your exam paper. Then only this question is valid. The answer to this question is valid. Without diagram, you will not be getting the half of the marks described to this question. Okay, so this is nothing but airport layout. The important components are nothing but, see, runway. This is nothing but runway, where aircrafts land or take off. It is on runway. Okay, these are nothing but taxiways. Taxiways are nothing but roads connecting to runway to ramp, apron, or aircraft stands. Middle roads basically. Okay, these are nothing but taxiway. Apron or ramp is a place where aircraft stands. It loads, unloads the passengers, cargoes, and etc. Aprons. See, hangars. This is also important. Hangars for aircraft maintenance. If aircraft has to be when aircraft, instead of keeping it into the sunlight, those are kept under the tin shades. So hangars, or if there is any repair, it will be repaired under hangars. Okay, hangars we have, terminal buildings we have. These are nothing but important components of an airport. Now let us see what are the important components of an airport layout. It is nothing but runway. You can see it over here, runway. Okay, the next is terminal building. It is over here, terminal building. You can see over here. Runway, you can see it here. Terminal building we have over here. Apron. This ramp, apron, aircraft stands are one and the same. Okay, apron. The next is taxiway. See, this is the taxiway. Roads which are connecting apron to runway are nothing but taxiways. After taxiway we have aircraft stand. See, aircraft stands. Hangar. Hangar is over here. The next, control tower. Where is the control tower in this? See, control tower is over here. Okay, parking area. We have parking areas also. Parking deck basically. These are nothing but important components of an airport layout. Now we need to see each in detail. When the question is for 10 marks or 5 marks, we need to describe those components into detail also. So let us see runways. First component we are explaining it in detail, so we need to explain in detail. A runway is the area where an aircraft lands or take off. It can be grass or packed dirt or hard surface such as asphalt or concrete. Runways have a special marking on them to help a pilot in the air to tell that it is the runway and not a road, and to help them when they are landing or take off. Runway marks are white Runway markings are white. Most of runways have numbers on the end. The numbers is the runway compass direction. For example, runway number 36 will be pointing north or 360 degrees. Some airports have more than one runway going in the same direction, so they add letters to the end of the number: R for right, C for center, and L for left. The other end of the runway is pointing the opposite direction, so it gets a different number. The runway called 36 will be called 18. If we are looking at it from the other end, runways may have other markings beside the end number on them. They may have white stripes down the middle of them and solid white lines on the edges. Most of the important thing for you to remember about a runway is that it means for aircraft use, so you should never drive your vehicle on it unless you are authorized to do so. This was about a runway. The next is nothing but terminal building. Also known as airport terminal, these buildings are the spaces where passengers board a flight, board or alight from flights. This building house all necessary facilities for passengers to check in their luggage, clear the customs, and have lounges to wait before disembarking. This is about terminal buildings. We have aprons. These are important component of an airport layout. Aircraft aprons are the areas where aircraft park. Aircraft aprons are the areas where aircraft park. Aprons are also sometimes called ramps. They vary in sizes from areas that may hold 5 or 10 small planes or to the very large areas that the major airports have. So this is general description of aprons. Okay. The next is nothing but taxiway. A taxiway is a path on an airport connecting runways with ramp, hangars, terminals, and other facilities. A taxiway is a path on an airport connecting runways with ramps, hangars, terminals, and other facilities. The most have hard surfaces such as asphalt or concrete, although smaller airports sometimes use gravel or grass. Hangar, these are important. This after apron, the next important part is nothing but hangar. Hangars are buildings in which airplanes are repaired or serviced. Most airlines have their own hangars in which they can park many jets at the same time. Most hangars are far away from the terminals and runway so that they do not interfere with airport traffic. The next is nothing but aircraft stand, a portion of an apron designated as a taxiway and intended to provide access to aircraft stands only. That is nothing but aircraft stand. The next we have control tower. A control tower, a tower at an airfield from which air traffic is controlled by radio and observed physically by the radar. Parking. Parking is a specific area of airport at which the vehicles park. So this was all about airport layout. So if a question is asked on airport layout, what we need to do? First we need to describe the question is asked about draw a neat diagram of airport layout and explain the important components of an airport. What we need to do is, first we need to explain about the layout of an airport. Then the diagram is very much important. Then the diagram is important. After the diagram we need to describe the important components. In the diagram you can find many, but apart from this, these are the main components and we need to describe each components. Runways, terminal building. Remember, apron and hangars. Apron and hangars are two most important components. These two can be asked in short mark questions also. These two components can also be asked in short marks questions also. So parking, control tower. The next question is about write in detail about aircraft characteristics. Okay. The next question is about write in detail about aircraft characteristics. So, aircraft characteristics. Aircraft characteristics are of prime importance to the airport planner and designer. The following characteristics need to be studied. The first one, type of propulsion. The first is nothing but type of propulsion. Second important airport characteristic is size of aircraft. Minimum turning radius, minimum circling radius, speed of an aircraft, minimum circling radius, speed of aircraft, capacity of aircraft, aircraft weight and wheel configuration, jet blast, fuel spillage and noise. These are nothing but important aircraft characteristics. Generally, this aircraft characteristic thing will be asked for 5 or 10 marks. So only the names of this 10 aircraft characteristics is not sufficient. So we need to describe this aircraft characteristics much in detail also. So we need a complete detail on this. So as the first is nothing but type of propulsion, we need to describe type of propulsion. The size of aircraft, its cycling radius, speed characteristics, weight carrying capacity, noise emission, etc. depend upon the type of propulsion of the aircraft. The performance characteristics of aircraft which determine the basic runway length also depend upon type of propulsion. The heat nuisance due to the exhaust gases is characteristics of turbojet and turboprop engines. The next is nothing but size of aircraft. Next characteristics, propulsion is nothing but engine. Okay. The next, size of aircraft. The size of aircraft serves the following thing. The size of an aircraft involves following important dimensions. The first one is wingspan, the second is fuselage length, third is height, fourth is distance between main gates, that is known as gate thread, fifth one is wheelbase, and sixth one is tail width. These characteristics determine size of aircraft. Wingspan, fuselage length, height, distance between main gates, wheelbase and tail width. As you can see in the next point, how this wingspan and all have an effect on airport. The wingspan decides the width of taxiway. Separation clearance between two parallel traffic ways, size of apron and hangars, width of an hangar gate, etc. The length of aircraft decides the widening of taxiways on curves, width of exit taxiways, size of aprons and hangars, etc. The gate thread and the wheelbase affect the minimum turning radius of an aircraft. So now let us see what is minimum turning radius. In order to decide radius of taxiways, the position of aircrafts in loading aprons and hangars, and to establish the path of movement of aircraft, it is very essential, and aircraft is illustrated in the figure. Very essential to study the geometry of turning movement of aircraft. To determine minimum turning radius, a line is drawn to the axis of the nose gear when it is at maximum angle of rotation. the point where the line intersects another line drawn through the axis of two main gears is called center of rotation. Look at over here. A line is drawn through the center of nose gear. Okay. So basically this angle we need to measure. This line is through the main gears. This line is through the nose of an aircraft. This after the taking maximum angle, it means at this point from here to here it is nothing but turning radius. This diagram of turning radius is important. Turning radius of an aircraft. The diagram of turning radius is important. To determine the minimum turning radius, a line is drawn to the axis of nose gear. See, this is nothing but axis of nose gear. When it is at maximum angle of rotation, the point where this line intersects another line drawn to the axis of two main gears. These are nothing but two main gears. This line meet at the main gear thing is called center of rotation. This is nothing but, this point is nothing but center of rotation. Not this point, this is not the point, this is the point of center of rotation. Minimum circling radius. This is certain minimum radius which the aircraft can take turn in space. This radius depends upon the type of aircraft, traffic volume and weather conditions. These are the following radius are recommended for different types of engines. Speed of aircraft. We have different speeds of aircraft. From here we have different speed of aircrafts. Aircraft capacity. The number of passengers, baggage, cargo or fuel that can be accommodated in the aircraft depends upon the capacity of the aircraft. Weight of aircraft and wheel configuration. Jet blast, fuel spillage, noise. These are nothing but characteristics of an aircraft. Look at noise. What does this noise say? The noise generated by aircraft create problems in making decisions on layout and capacity. The correct assessment of future noise pattern to minimize the effect of surrounding communities is essential to the optimal layout of runways. The FAA noise regulation came into force in 1969 for jet-powered aircraft with bypass ratio greater than 2. In 1973, they were modified to apply to all aircraft manufacturers after that date. Fuel spillage. So this was the all about aircraft characteristics. Okay, we have seen these 10 characteristics. These are important 10 aircraft characteristics. Cannot miss any of this. 10 characteristics. If it's for 3 marks, just we need to write this characteristics name, and if it's for 5 or 10 marks, we need to describe this in detail. Our next question is, Draw a neat diagram of turning radius of aircraft and explain. Just now in aircraft characteristic thing, we have seen this answer. We have seen a answer on this. Draw a neat diagram of turning radius of aircraft and explain. Just now in the characteristics of aircraft answer, previous answer, we have seen the diagram of the turning radius and we have described that. But same we need to write it over here. So this is nothing but the answer to this question. Draw a neat diagram of turning radius of aircraft and explain. Minimum turning radius in order to decide the radius. Just now we have seen this. How we get this diagram. One line we get it from a line is drawn to the axis of nose gear when it is at maximum angle of rotation. This is the line. Where the line intersects the other line drawn to the axis of two main gears. These are nothing but main gears. This is the line. This line comes and intersects this line. So this is nothing but center of rotation. From center of rotation, if you measure till here, it is nothing but turning radius. Draw a neat diagram of turning radius of a aircraft and explain. This is the answer to the following question. We have discussed it in previous answer. Now let us see next question. Explain with a neat sketch how wings of an aircraft help it to rise the above ground. Explain with neat sketch how the wing of an aircraft help it to rise in air above the ground. This is the answer to the question. Explain with a neat sketch how the wings of an aircraft help it to rise in the air above the ground. Look at the answer. Wings. What is the purpose of wings? The purpose of an aircraft wing is to support the machine in the air when the engine has given it necessary forward speed. The purpose of a wing is to support the machine in the air when the engine has given it a necessary forward speed. See, this is the thing. This is nothing but leading edge, trailing edge. This is nothing but camber. How we aerofoil this. The straight line is nothing but flight path, angle of incidence. By this phenomena, what happens? This excess lift will be generated. See, air, what does it does? It creates a pressure lower than the atmosphere at the top of the wings. Pressure is higher than the atmosphere. So what happens? This lift, this what does wing do? This wing tries to travel from higher pressure area to lower pressure area. So it gives a lift. This is nothing but explain with a neat sketch how the wings of an aircraft help it to rise the air above the ground. This we need to describe. Again we need to describe this. To support these two diagrams, we need to include some theoretical statements which can be done by explaining this phenomena. Due to this aerofoiling, what happens? Lower pressure will be generated at the top of the wing when compared to the higher pressure at the bottom of the wing. Due to this pressure difference, what happens? There is a lift under wings. Next question. Explain in detail the influence of aircraft design on runway length. This answer will deal later. Explain in detail the influence of aircraft design on runway length. Let us see the answer to this. Write about tricycle undercarriage. As we have seen already about tricycle undercarriage, we will see what are the different positions that has to be placed for a tricycle undercarriage thing. Write about tricycle undercarriage. Tricycle undercarriage is nothing but the tires of an aircraft. In a simple language, if you want to say, it is nothing but tires of an aircraft. Generally, we have 3 tires under a aircraft, so the 3 is nothing but tricycle undercarriage. It is a structure to support the aircraft while it is in contact with the ground. It has 2 principal functions to perform as listed below. First, to observe landing shocks while aircraft lands. The second is to enable the aircraft maneuver on the ground. Maneuver is nothing but turning, moving of aircraft on the ground is known as maneuver. Okay, this is nothing but arrangements of tricycle undercarriage. See, this is nothing but back 2 wheels, front 1 wheel. So we call this combination as main wheel single. Okay, if we have two back wheels and 1 single, we call it main wheels dual. Similarly, this combination, these 2 are back tires, this is nothing but front tire. Okay, we call this assembly, this type of assembly, 4 tires at one side, 4 tires at one side, 2 at front side. Main wheels dual in tandem. Okay, this 2 tires at the back, 2 tires at the front, we call it as main wheel twin. This 2 tires at one side, 2 tires at one side, and in front side also the same repetition, 2 tires, we call this configuration as twin. This is nothing but tricycle undercarriage. Write about tricycle undercarriage. This is the detail of tricycle undercarriage. Tricycle undercarriage is nothing but what it is? Tires of an aircraft. Next question. What are the functions of the following? Elevator, rudder and aileron. You need to write the functions of the following. So what are the functions of the following? The first one is elevator, rudder and aileron. Elevator. See, look where the elevator is. Here we have elevator. Diagram is not that important. Okay, but if you can draw this diagram, no problem, you can draw it, but it is not compulsory. Okay, elevator is at the end tail side. So what is the function of elevator? Elevator, it consists of 2 flaps. See, we have flaps over here, capable of moving up and down through an angle of 50 to 60. They are hinged to a fixed horizontal surface called a tail plane or stabilizer. See, this is nothing but stabilizer or tail plane. In the diagram you can see. They are hinged to a fixed horizontal surface placed at the extreme so they are hinged to a fixed horizontal surface called tail plane or stabilizer placed at the extreme rear of the fuselage. It controls pitching or up and down movements of the aircrafts. So with the help of elevator, what happened? controls the pitching or up and down movements of an aircraft. Up and down movements of an aircraft are controlled by elevator. The next, rudder. Where is rudder? This is nothing but rudder. Aileron and elevator and rudder at the tail side of an aircraft. It consists of a streamlined flap hinged to a vertical fin provided at the tail end of the fuselage. It can be moved right or left of the vertical axis through an angle of about, this is nothing but 30 degree. Okay, it's not 300, it is 30 degree. It is utilized for the turning or yawing movement of an aircraft. This is important. It is utilized for turning or yawing movement of an aircraft. What? Rudder. Next we have finally aileron. Aileron are towards the wing side. Aileron is at the wings. It is a hinge flap which is fixed in the trailing edge of the wing near the wing tip as shown in the figure. It is associated with wings. It is so rigged that when aileron in one wing is pulled up, that in other is pulled down, the effect of pulling of aileron on its own is to increase the camber and angle of incidence of wing. This results in increased lift under the wing. Pulling an aileron up reduces the lift of the tail. If it is getting more lift, what we need to do? Pulling an aileron helps to. This results in an increased lift under the wing. Pulling up an aileron reduces the lift on the plane. So for lifting up and down, to increase or decrease lift, what we used? Aileron. Okay, to move up and down, elevator is used to up and down movements. Okay. Rudder. What is the rudder? Function of rudder? Turning or yawing movement of the aircraft. So these are nothing but functions of the following. So this next question is about discuss in brief the future requirements and trends in aircraft design. Discuss in brief the future requirements and trends in aircraft design. So answer is as follows. In spite of difficult period that the aircraft and airline industries are in today, the future market is projected to be large and additional lift will be required. In the near term, this unfilled lift will be supplied to a considerable extent by current models and derivatives of current models. Future traffic growth will require new aircraft. The technology advances will allow such features as higher cruising speeds, lower operating cost, short takeoff and landing characteristics, lower community noise and improved structural life. Other special purpose airplanes will also be required. The resource air carrier is only one example of the many potential opportunities of the application advanced concepts for air transportation. So the future aircraft, future requirements, what has to be addressed is technology advances will allow such features like higher cruising speeds, operation speed should be more, operation cost should be less, there should be short takeoff and landing characteristics to avoid the lengthy runways, lower community noise and improve structural life. This is basically future requirements and trends in aircraft design. More can be seen over here. More things can be seen over here. Numerous challenges in design, manufacture, integration require multiple engineering skills and teamwork. Skills to advance manufacturing methods, tooling, process, modeling, automation, quality controls, equipment design. Business engineering skills to overcome economic issues which limit application. Skills to combine analysis methods, databases and engineering tools to evaluate effect of damage and defects. research skills to advance the maintenance procedures, research and teaching skills with close links to application, applied R&D, distance learning and continuous education, willingness to lead support team depending upon the project. These are nothing but issues related to discuss the brief requirements and trends in aircraft design. This is the answer to the question. The next question is about classifying the flying activities according to the purpose to travel. Classification of flying activities according to purpose of travel. So flying activities according to purpose to travel is nothing but the flying activities can be related to business, it can be related to leisure or others. Okay, now see, if it's in business, if the flying activity is related to business, it can be for international or external meetings, conferences, trade shows, etc. If it's for leisure, it can be a holiday, it can be for holiday or visiting friends and relatives. Okay, if it's in other case, the flying activities can be related to sports, pilgrimage, health, migration, studies and others. So this is all about classifying the flying activities according to purpose to travel. Okay, thank you, that's it. So this was all related to unit 4. Next class we will be seeing details about unit 5. So this was all about the revision of unit 4. Thank you.